Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about the 2-5-1 progression. So we're going to take those chords that I showed you earlier, and we're going to put them in a progression, in a certain order, a certain set. And I'm going to show you how to basic soloing on them. And then I'm going to show you some other ways to play those chords with ninths and 13ths. And I made some videos showing you how those chords are formed earlier. Okay, so the 2-5-1 progression. So if we take against sticking to the key of C, right? So that's 1 in C. This is 2. All right. And this is 5, and this is 1. So that's the 2-5-1 progression. Now, if I play it so that I drop the top two notes, I get a different position of the G7th chord. All right, so I was here in root position by my movement here, so I don't have to jump so much. And then I drop the bottom two notes, and I get the C major 7th chord. So you get this 2, 5, 1 in C major. And you can, so of course you could comp like. Okay, this is basic comping with basic chords. So I can take this and I can put it in the left hand, like this. And in that way, with these chords in the left hand, I can solo in the right hand. So these three chords are in the key of C. So that means that basically I can use white notes on them, and that will work. That's its basic understanding. Uh, but to look at it a little in another way, each of these chords has a mode to it. And if I start on D, for instance, that's known as the Dorian mode. And Dorian mode, in comparison to the D major scale, is flat 3 and flat 7. On a G7th, the scale, if you started on a G, is known as G mixolydian mode, and that compared to a G major scale is flat 7, only flat 7. And of course, on C, it's known as the C major scale. So, and then there's a lot of course, there's millions of tunes that are written with the 2-5-1 progression. A couple that come to my mind is "I Should Care," for instance. And so on. Or "I've Got You Under My Skin." Okay, a melody is something like that. But anyways, yeah, so the 2-5-1 is useful there. Now, so I showed you the scales that you can use on these chords. Basically, it's all white notes. And so you can solo, and it doesn't matter what note you start on or anything like that. but just this is general teaching here. So here we go, like da da da. Okay. And so that's how that is. And so I mean, I'm using the scale. I mean, you of course, generally speaking, you can use intervals of like thirds and whatever, six, and you can use arpeggios, you know. And you can combine the arpeggios with scales. Now I was just using some sixths intervals again in that. I'll be more, specific on soloing in some later videos, but this is just general. I'm just talking about the 2-5-1 progression. So one other thing is, as I mentioned in some earlier videos, there are, it's just this is just not about seventh chords. Seventh chords are pretty basic. So if you take if you make a ninth chord, right? You got a ninth chord, and then then here's the G dominant ninth, and here's a C major ninth. Now, regarding these chords, there are such chords known as the A-B forms, which this is the A form of this, and then you have a ninth, you have a D minor ninth, and then it goes to a 13th. See, so here's the 13th chord. This is so you see you only move one note here, and you get to the 13th chord. And I had shown you 13ths in an earlier video. So if you don't know what one is, basically look, 9, 11, 13. So here's the 13th chord, and here it is arranged in a certain way. And then a lot of players like to use the 6-9 chord, or maybe you play a fifth if you want. But a lot of players leave out the fifth. They just do this, the third, the sixth, and the 9. Okay, so comp-wise, it might sound like this. Da, 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 Now, you can take those chords and you can put them in the left hand, and you can play the melody like I should get. And that's okay. And then you can use these chords in the left hand. You can solo in the right hand, just like you did on the basic chord. Nothing's going to change because these are still all white notes in the left hand. Yeah, And if you want to play them in another key, then you just transpose it, of course. You know, if you want to play it in E flat, let's say, then it look like this, and you play an E flat scale over. That's all that is transposition. I'm showing it in C because it's the easiest way. But it is very good to know, you know, everything in every key. Sorry to be so daunting, but it is true. So, you know, if I take these chords, you know, and again there I'm using some intervals with scales, arpeggios, thirds, you know, whatever interval you like to use. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you.